Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sa papena padmapatram ivambasa. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. So this Krishna says multiple times in third chapter also he says, now also he is saying, duty, work without attachment. A normal question which is asked is how can we work without attachment? And this is the art of doing work. So we have to learn to do this, that it is done as a matter of duty. Without attachment means without attachment to the fruits, not without attachment to the work itself. We should work sincerely, right? For which a little bit of not attachment but sincerity is required, so that we just do work as expected. And we don't expect anything out of it. Whatever comes, comes. And surrendering the results means whatever results come also has to be used in the service of Krishna. That is surrendering the result. Such a person, even if he is engaged in sinful action. So for example, every work today in this material world, especially corporate, all kinds of corporate work mostly is Ugra Karma, because we don't know where our work is being used. For example, somebody might be writing a software program, somebody might be mostly producing some products, etc. Where it is going to be used, and if it is used for sinful action, then there is a reaction. So the person who has produced that instrument also becomes, he also has to be part of the karma phala. So, and if you have written 5 lines of code into that, then you also are part of karma phala. But here Krishna is saying that okay, even if you work without attachment, saying that okay, it's duty I have to do, okay, I'm doing whatever they're asking me to do, but then I'm using the results in Krishna's service, then even if our work gets engaged in some sinful action, it doesn't affect, as lotus leaf is untouched by water. You can put water on the lotus leaf, but it just slips off, so it doesn't stick. So it will just go off. Purport. Here Brahmani means in Krishna consciousness, because here Brahmani adhaya karmani. Brahmani means in Krishna consciousness, for unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord. The material world is a sum total manifestation of the three modes of material nature, technically called pradhana. Okay. Prabhupada is explaining that this Brahman, everything in this material world is coming from Brahman. So that is why he is talking about this pradhana. Okay, in Bhagavatam we will understand this creation. So there is pradhana, and then there is mahattattva. Pradhana is the sum total manifestation of the three modes of material nature. This material world is made of three modes. Basically, it is sattva, rajas, and tamas. Everything, whatever we see, will be interacting in these three modes. Basically, everything belongs to three modes. So whatever creates this material world, that sum total, that is called pradhana. Vedic hymns, sarvami etad brahma, tasmad etad brahma nama rupam annam cha jayate, and Bhagavad Gita, mama yonir mahat brahma, indicate that everything in the material world is a manifestation of Brahman. So we should understand this. Basically, the light coming from the body of the Supreme Lord is Brahma Jyoti. That Brahma Jyoti, after the Vaikuntha world, the spiritual sky, is called Paravyoma. Then there is the Karana Jala, that Vaitarini river, Karana Jala. On the other side of Karana Jala is the material world. Now this part of the Lord's creation, the Brahma Jyoti is blocked by this cloud of Mahatattva. Brahma Jyoti is blocked. Okay, let me show you a picture. Yeah, I have this Goloka chart. Let me show you this. Now this is very interesting actually, this whole. Okay, you can see this, right? So this is all Brahma Jyoti. These blue, this white here, up till here, this semicircle which is there here. Now see here they've written Brahma Jyoti. Now all till here it is Brahma Jyoti. So someone who achieves Brahman liberation, he becomes one of the particle here. He is not allowed to enter into these planets. Now these are all planets, spiritual planets. He is not allowed to enter into these spiritual planets. He will become one particle of light here, any of these places. Okay. Now this part, right? If you see this, these are all clouds. This is cloud of Mahatattva. You've written here Mahatattva. So practically this Mahatattva, this kind of blocks the Brahma Jyoti from coming in. So, but it is in this Brahma Jyoti only that the material world is also created, but by the elements that create this material world, that light is blocked. That light gets blocked. That Brahma Jyoti gets blocked, and that is why we need Surya, Chandra, etc. in the material world. Right, and then okay, you can also see there is Sadashiva Loka, then there is Mahakala Dhamma. So Sadashiva Loka is Shiva, who is Vishnu Tattva. Then Mahakala Dhamma is Shiva, who is now becomes, that same thing becomes dark here, which means that he's in touch with the material nature on this side. Anyway, so the point I wanted to show you here was this cloud. This is called Mahat Tattva. In unmanifested form, it is called Pradhana. Unmanifested meaning where it is not visible or it's not active, it is called Pradhana. When it becomes active, it is called Mahat Tattva. And this is Mahavishnu, from whose breathing all these innumerable Brahmandas, planet, the universes are coming out. And this is one blown up view of one universe. And this is Vaikuntha. So there are three Dhammas here. Devi Dhamma, which is this, which is under the control of Durga Devi. Then there is Mahesh Dhamma, which is Shambhu, which is why this Mahakala Dhamma, all this is Mahesh Dhamma. Then there is Haridhama. Haridhama has two parts, Vaikuntha and Goloka Vrindavana. So this is a whole picture. And we insignificant souls are in this millions of small universes. We are in one of those universes. In those universes, there are all these 14 planetary systems. There, somewhere we are in Boloka. In Boloka, there are so many continents. There's one continent, Asia. In that, there's a country, India. In that, there is Karnataka, etc., etc., etc. So we are so insignificant. But the amount of false ego we display looks like we are the most important person in this world, this creation. Okay, so this is Mahat Tattva. Okay, so everything is actually manifestation of Brahman, this Brahma Jyoti. And although the effects are differently manifested, they are non-different from the cause. So this means, like in the spiritual world, the effects are different, but in the material world, the effects are different. But they are non-different from the cause, meaning everything is coming from Brahman. So that way they are not different, which means that this is also Brahman, but its effect is different. So this Brahman is binds the conditioned soul. The other Brahman is for those who are free. So anyway, so the point here is everything is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. So Brahmanyadaya karmani. So everything is Brahman. So everything has to be used in Krishna's service. Because everything is Brahman, everything has to be used in Brahman service. In the Ishopanishad, it is said that everything is related to the Supreme Brahman or Krishna, and thus everything belongs to him only. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. One who knows perfectly well that everything belongs to Krishna and that he is the proprietor, and that therefore everything is engaged in the service of Lord naturally, has nothing to do with the results. See, we are worried about results because we think that it is for our use. And so we do calculation of gain and loss and this and that and all that. But all this is not, it's all, it's Krishna's and it is engaged in Krishna's service. So we have nothing to do with the results of the activities, in the sense, if Krishna wants something, he will make it happen. If Krishna doesn't want something, he will not make it happen. So we don't have to be worried about the results, because actually we are not in control. We are simply instruments. Whatever comes out is Krishna's will, because it is anyway in the first place belongs to him and it has to be used in his service. Even one's material body being a gift of the Lord for carrying out a particular type of action can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Of course, it can be engaged in Maya consciousness also, or body consciousness. But we should use our body in Krishna consciousness. It is then beyond contamination by sinful reactions. Beyond contamination by sinful reactions, meaning even if there are sinful reactions, then it doesn't get contaminated. Today, if our consciousness is weak, then we get contaminated by sinful reactions. It is like weak immunity, they say. So if we are not engaged in Krishna consciousness, then we become contaminated by sinful reactions. That means that we have to suffer, or we have to enjoy our previous actions. But if we are Krishna conscious, then we are not affected by this, exactly as the lotus leaf. The Lord also says in Gita, Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya, resign all works unto me. The conclusion is that a person without Krishna consciousness acts according to the concept of the material body and senses, but a person in Krishna consciousness acts according to the knowledge that the body is the property of Krishna and should therefore be engaged in the service of Krishna. So either we use the body directly in service of Krishna, or we use the body in terms of using the results in Krishna service. So either way, it should be used in the service of Krishna. So that is why here Krishna is saying that everything is Brahman. So use everything in service of Brahman. That means you work without attachment, surrender the results to Brahman. Then you are not affected by any kind of action, good or bad. Okay, any questions here?
Yes, true. I have a question. It is mentioned that this Mahat Tattva is the reason for origination of everything. But if we see all the universes, these are coming from the breathing of Mahavishnu, which is Mahavishnu himself. So how Mahat Tattva and our universe is related then?
Mahat Tattva is the ingredients for the creation, for the material world. While the universe is coming from the Supreme Lord, the ingredients of the universe is Mahat Tattva. Meaning Mahat Tattva is basically all these 5 gross elements, subtle elements, 3 modes of material nature, all that is Mahat Tattva. So that is the ingredient. That is the ingredient for this material world, which means that material world is made out of this. So the Lord glances this Mahat Tattva, puts it into action, and then uses it to create this material world, as in the sense that when he activates it, then it becomes active enough to kind of form or become the active portion of this material world. So Mahat Tattva is like the raw material. Okay, let me put it that way. Mahat Tattva is the raw material for the mundane world.
Yeah.
It is active. It is active. When it is not active, it is pradhana. When it is active, it means that it will have living entities, then it will give bodies to living entities, then there is karma, then there is kala, all this, it has been put into action. That is Mahat Tattva.
Yeah, so I think then it is little difficult to understand that Lord, when he breathes in, lot of universes go inside his breath, and then when he breathes out, lot of universes come out. And also it is mentioned that lot of universes come through his pores. So if Mahat Tattva is present outside of Mahavishnu, then how Mahavishnu is breathing in or out the universes is a bit difficult to understand, right?
How does it matter what is there within Mahavishnu or outside Mahavishnu? Okay, let me put it this way, right? Like, for example, if suppose say you have a factory factory has like some raw materials. Now, raw materials might be there in the godown, but it can also be you picked up for how much ever quantity is required can be picked up for making a product.
Yeah.
Right. So Mahat Tattva is like that factory. I mean, everything is there. But see, we should also understand, Prabhu, we cannot look at Mahavishnu like I am looking at, okay, I am putting myself into Mahavishnu's shoes and saying, okay, oh, the raw material is outside. It is not in me. How will it come in me? And this is Supreme Lord, no? He will want, it is, okay, let me explain this way. Suppose say you have a magnet. Okay, and you have some iron filings. Now, iron filings are there somewhere in some distance, but you have a very powerful magnet. You will just keep the magnet, take it slightly closer to those iron filings. Iron filings will get pulled, isn't it? Now, you didn't do much to do that. Like now, at least, but you took a magnet near the iron filings. Now, for Lord Vishnu, it is Ichcha Shakti. Lord Vishnu, just by seeing, so okay, this is required. So that ingredient will come, make itself available, then it will do whatever. I mean, this is the Supreme Lord, no? I mean, we can't think about him like us saying that, okay, now this raw material is in the go down. Now I have to go to the go down, get the raw material, then I have to prepare, manufacture this product. For Lord Vishnu, it is Ichcha Shakti. So he will just think, saying that, okay, that raw material has to come from the go down, it will come.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the supreme power of the Supreme Lord, right? Omnipotent. Anything is possible. Just for our understanding, they are saying that, okay, there is something like Mattattva, Lord glances over it. And Lord glances over it, it becomes active, then it knows what it has to do. Technically, it will react to the Lord's desire of, okay, wanting to become an ingredient in the creation of material world. Then Lord, it is consumed in the gigantic body of the Lord, and the universe comes out. It's like a factory you can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Achintya. Yeah, I'm just explaining to make it easy to understand how it exactly happens, etc. That is not
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
understandable,
Yeah.
right? But it's just inconceivable potency of the Lord.
Yeah,
Anything
actually,
is.
it was written in Shrimad Bhagavatam that Lord glances and impregnates the matter with living entities. So I was just trying to
Your
relate.
question was, it is outside. How does it come inside? That is all very trivial for the Lord, right? Like whether it's
Yeah,
outside,
yeah,
inside, doesn't really matter.
yeah, yeah. Now it's clear, bro.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question is also related with this thing only.
Okay.
As you said that all the elements, 8 elements,
Hmm.
uh, remains in the passive state in Mahat Tattva, right, Prabhu?
Pradhana, I think I'm always confused between
Passive
Pradhana
state,
and,
and
yeah, Pradhana and
yeah,
Mahatma confused, but I think Pradhana is inactive, Mahatattva is active.
okay, and all the 3 modes of nature also
Yeah, I
remain
mean,
there.
3 modes of nature are, yeah, all these basically
Yeah,
Panchamahabhutas and then Sukshma, all these elements are basically present.
yes,
Mahatvata is like raw material.
yes,
Everything that
yes.
is required for a material universe to be created is there.
So it's like a go down, Prabhu. I mean, everything is there.
The ingredients.
Yeah, and it gets activated only when we take birth and comes into the material world. I mean, it that raw material gets activated in when it comes to the material world, right, Prabhu?
No, not
I
like
mean,
that.
huh,
When it is time for creation,
huh,
the
huh,
Lord glances over this Mahatattva.
huh.
Then it is enabled in that sense, and Lord impregnates the living entities, which means that he puts also the living entities into the Brahmanda.
Okay, okay,
Right now, then which means that the ingredients are there, then the living entities are there, which are going to use these ingredients. Then this Brahmanda is created with all the ingredients, but then nothing has happened.
yeah,
Everything is just there, right? That is when the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu from his navel Brahma comes. Brahma now sees all this. Okay, there
yeah,
are ingredients are there, jivas are there, but no world. Where will they stay? How do I produce? What about their bodies? What type of bodies they should get? Where should they go? Which universe they should go? Etc. Then all the planetary system becomes manifest. Then slowly, one after another. all the different creation. Actually, if you read third canto Bhagavatam, second and third canto, we can get some sense of how the creation happens, but it's super complicated.
Yeah.
So one after another, like from first is sound, I think sky. So from sky everything starts,
Yeah.
right? Sky, first ingredient, then it gets transformed, then it gets
Yeah.
transformed, etc., etc., etc. So long process of.
So Prabhu, all these 14 planetary systems were also created by Brahma, right? I mean,
No,
Brahma
when
got birth from the navel of Vishnu, and then
yeah,
after that, Brahma created all these
no,
planetary
not
systems.
Brahma doesn't create. Actually, it is said
Acha.
that the material universes are actually on the stem of this lotus
Lotus.
flower.
Oh,
So it's
okay,
already
okay.
there in the sense like it's there. So he doesn't like create from scratch type. But the material universes are there, and he manifests creation into that.
Okay, okay. Living beings.
Yeah, it's like see, like the Brahmanda is created by the Lord, like the shell is created and given to Brahma, right?
Okay.
Like that. Similarly, the all the different planetary systems. I don't. I mean, a long time that I had read this properly, but from whatever I remember, Brahma is a secondary creator. Everything is given to him, then he puts things in place, like but he doesn't create because, or maybe he creates. Okay, maybe somebody can, or I can also read up and I'll clarify this. I don't very clearly remember.
Mhm.
I remember that the planetary systems are there on the stem. All right. Now, if they are there on the stem, that means that it is created by the Lord when the creation happens.
Why I am asking Prabhu? Because after when the day finishes, one day of Brahma finishes, then what happens till lower part of Earth, I
Mhm,
mean Bhulok, it all
mhm.
gets destroyed after one day of Brahma, or I think by the night of the
Bhurbhosva.
Brahma.
Yeah, night of
Yeah.
Brahma, Bhurbhosva
So
gets destroyed.
so then after I mean the morning when it happens, Brahma creates all the lower planetary system.
Correct.
So it means Brahma created all these. That's why I was asking. I mean,
Okay.
whether it.
Now that creation might mean multiple things, right? Like uh, whether he himself creates. See, actually, today morning I was reading this and I was thinking actually this partial devastation is not very clearly explained, because
Okay.
most of the explanation is, it seems like, see, because actually it is said, then it also says that the jivas enter Mahavishnu. So if jivas enter Mahavishnu, then they have to come back again. It's as good as like a fresh creation, but of only of three words. So it is not required that Brahma only creates. It could be that the Lord has created and given also. It's not very clear. That much detail is not there.
Okay.
1 second. So piercing through. Took the shape of butterfly, Lord, and illuminated everything like the sun. Personally entered as a super soul, and it was thus impregnated with all the modes of material nature. Personality of Vedic wisdom was generated. Could not see the world. Okay. Could not properly understand the creation. Um, okay. The meditation was complete. Hmm, okay. What else we have discussed? Hmm. 1 second. Hmm. Lord, the tree is grown by first penetrating. Here it's saying at that time all the universal planets are stationed within your abdomen. All these planets of the universe were stationed within your transcendental abdomen while you were enjoying sleeping. So looks like the planets are all pre-created. Lord saw that Brahma was very anxious about the planning and construction of the different planetary systems. Now, construction, not creation. He's not trying to create, he's trying to construct, which means that it's like building. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear. So it is actually planetary systems are there in the Lord. So Brahma is not creating them.
Okay, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Okay. 5.11. कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या केवलैरिन्द्रियैरपि योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति सङ्गं त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये. The yogi is abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, and intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. This is very important. We should act, which means that we should do any activity for that matter. First thing is without attachment, only for the purpose of purification. This is very, very important to understand. Okay, let's read the purport, but maybe there's a lot more to explain. When one acts in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the senses of Krishna, any action, whether of the body, mind, intelligence, or even the senses, is purified of material contamination. So Prabhupada is saying, if you act in Krishna consciousness, then it is purified. Okay. There are no material reactions resulting from the activities of a Krishna conscious person. That we are clear. Therefore, purified activities, which are generally called sadachara, can be easily performed by acting in Krishna consciousness. Now, Prabhupada is saying, okay, if one acts in Krishna consciousness, then it is automatically purified. So what kind of activity one should do? One should act only in Krishna consciousness. Okay. Yasya harer dasya karmana manasa gira nikilashvapi avastasu jivan mukta sauchyate. Person acting in Krishna consciousness with his body, mind, intelligence, and words is a liberated person even within the material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. He has no false ego. That means he doesn't think he is the body, for he does not believe that he is the material body or that he possesses the body. This is interesting. He doesn't think he possesses the body also. He knows that he is not this body and that this body does not belong to him. He himself belongs to Krishna and the body too belongs to Krishna. This is amazing. Okay. When he applies everything produced of the body, mind, intelligence, word, life, health, wealth, etc., whatever he may have within his possession, to Krishna's service, he is at once dovetailed with Krishna. He is one with Krishna and is devoid of false ego. One with Krishna means that he knows that he is non-different in terms of qualitative oneness. And that leads one to believe that he is the body, etc. False ego that leads one to believe. So he is free of false ego. This is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Okay, this is very interesting. He does not believe that he is the material body and that nor that he possesses it. So he knows that he is not his body and that his body also does not belong to him. He himself belongs to Krishna, body too belongs to Krishna. So very nice, right? So whatever happens with the body is Krishna's concern, not our concern. See, if we think that it is my body, then it becomes my responsibility. This is liberating. Can we just think about this for a moment? I mean, like all our attachment to body should go off with this statement because it is not our body. It belongs to Krishna. The body belongs to Guru, body belongs to Krishna. It doesn't belong to us. So technically, we don't have to worry about the body because it is Krishna's concern, provided we are engaged in Krishna consciousness. Okay. This is a very deep topic. Okay. So now another thing that I want to say is this is for people who are only engaged in Krishna conscious activities. But Bhagavatam also makes it very clear, saying that one should work, one should do their occupation to keep body and soul together, and also for people in Grihastha ashrama, specifically the Varnashrama is important in the sense that there is responsibility. So the difference between brahmachari life and grihastha life is brahmachari life, there is responsibility towards guru. In grihastha life, there is responsibility towards guru and also towards the family and society, etc. It's an obligation that we have taken on. Brahmacharis don't have that obligation. Now, for all of us, there is a specific way of purification. What is this purification? To become free from material attachment. That is purification. So to become equipoised, for example, to be equal in distress or happiness, to look at everything as part and parcel of Krishna, to give up material vision in the sense that there is nothing which is different from Krishna. So there is that thought that there is something different from Krishna means it is Maya, it is illusion. So gradually giving up this, in a very systematic way, giving up this attachment to this material world, that is purification. Different people have different ways of purification based on their ashrama and varna. But irrespective, we should work for purification, which means that we should not work for sense gratification, but we should work. We should work to purify ourselves. Previously, there used to be great devotees who, for example, they in South India, there's so many Kanakadasa, Purandarada. There are so many great devotees, right? Who they never bothered to take care of their family, in the sense that their family was dependent on them. They were staying with them, but they never bothered to take care of their family because they were not on this material platform at all. They were in this, what Prabhupada is referring to here is perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Perfect stage of Krishna consciousness means that we are not living in this material world at all. In the sense, our consciousness is not in this world, which means we don't even know what we ate. We don't know when we slept. We don't know when we woke up. That kind of absorption, deep absorption in Krishna consciousness, when all the time we are engaged in glorifying the Lord, preaching about the Lord, etc., reading about the Lord, we just forgotten our externals. Then in that stage, we will not have any activity. We will not have any responsibility. But till that stage, we have responsibility, which is to purify ourselves. And by being in the ashrama that we are in. So this purification, for grihasthas, it is a different type of purification. For brahmacharis, it is a different way of purification. For brahmachari, purification is by simple. They have to live very simple life. They can't expect to eat this and that and something else and all that. Whatever is there is there. They can't expect comforts. There's so many things, right, which are almost default available in Grihastha ashram. Brahmacharis can't get that. So that is their way of purification. For Grihasthas, all these facilities, comforts are given, but then their purification is by taking up that responsibility and by doing our responsibility, but still being Krishna conscious. Like Krishna tells Arjuna, "Ma manusmara yudhyacha." You fight because fighting is your duty, but you think about me, you remember me all the time. That was the path of purification for Arjuna. Similarly, for Grihasthas, we have our own purification. For Brahmacharis, they have their own purification. Okay, but the important point is neither Brahmachari nor Grihastha should do anything for sense gratification. Even Grihasthas, just because they are married doesn't give them any license for just unrestricted enjoyment, be it bodily or otherwise. It all has to be regulated. That is why it is called ashrama. Ashrama means everything is regulated. But everything is done for purification, nothing for sense gratification. And Prabhupada in the purport, he just takes the whole verse to the next level by talking directly about Krishna conscious, perfectly Krishna conscious person, saying that for him there is no contamination. All his activities are in Krishna consciousness. He is liberated. Now, see, when we read these verses, we should understand where we have to head. But this is not our current state. For us to go from our current state to this state will require some work. But okay. That is why Prabhupada's purport sometimes very high, very high. We are somewhere stuck at a very low platform. To come to understanding Prabhupada's purport itself will take us years. Any questions? So we should remember this, that the body also belongs to Krishna. I also belong to Krishna. My body also belongs, this body belongs to Krishna. It shouldn't be my body. My body means again there is attachment. I belong to Krishna. This body also belongs to Krishna. So this body is like unattached. This body, like this body lying on the floor type, right? So it's not ours. So we can become very free. I had not thought about it this way. This is very nice. This is liberating thought. That this body belongs to Krishna. So if he wants, he will maintain it. Otherwise, it will end. That's all.
Yeah, I also, Prabhu, I think one very nice thing from this purport is that even devotees should take care of their bodies, because they should do by the thought process that this body belongs to Krishna. Hence, it is important to maintain the body for Krishna's service.
Yeah,
So,
but interestingly, that mood gives us too much of attachment to the body. This thought about saying that I have to maintain this body. No, I am not maintaining this body. I will try to keep it in good condition. But
yeah,
if it
try to.
doesn't remain, then I am not going to bother about it. Because I made the effort. Right? Actually, in fact, I mean, Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj also, he says, I will try to maintain this body because it is my Guru Maharaj. Right? But then what we do is, in the name of that statement, we become attached to our body. Right? So it's very difficult for us. So that is why I am thinking that first stage of, actually it should result in renunciation. Saying that I don't care for this body because it doesn't belong to me, it's Krishna's. Then slowly we can, once we are completely renounced, then we can say, okay, maybe now I should also maintain it. Okay, let me try. That's easier to downgrade ourselves from full renunciation to little care than thinking about it as, oh, I need to take care of it, means then I'm gone. My consciousness becomes body. I'm telling this from my own experience. I mean, from my own life experience, how my body keeps troubling me. And again, see, in my thought process also, it is my body. This body keeps troubling me. So that is ingrained, saying that it is my body. So that has to be broken. This body keeps troubling me. And when I keep thinking, saying that I have to take care of this body, and it is a never ending effort, and the consciousness just becomes this body consciousness. Right? So it's better to say, okay, this body does not belong to me. Krishna, it is Krishna's. No, Krishna will take care. If Krishna wants to cure something, he will cure. Otherwise, he doesn't. Okay. Then it's extreme renunciation. It's just like almost like disowning this body. Then when we are strongly fixed in that, then we can say, okay, maybe, okay, if I have to take care of this body, okay, maybe then I can try. I can do something. But then the attachment is gone by then, right? So then we will come to this platform that the body belongs to Krishna and I'm just trying to take care of this body. Otherwise, this is very difficult to achieve practically. I'm saying, like, we always, when we start taking care of something, we think it is mine.
Yeah.
Right. So that cutting that connection is very, very difficult because we are not used to taking care of things for others generally. We don't take care of, our neighbor's vehicle like the way we do our vehicle, right? But we should understand all these vehicles belong to Krishna. I should have the same compassion towards somebody else as much as I have towards my body. So it's a very, that's why I say, like, sometimes, Prabhupada's sentences sound so simple. Oh, okay. Okay, body belongs to Krishna. Okay, so what? So what means that we have to give up this attachment to this body? Amazing. That is the reason why we have to read Prabhupada's purports again and again in the association of devotees. Only then slowly some things will start creeping in, slowly and steadily. Otherwise, it's at some level altogether. I mean, it's very difficult to understand. I mean, we can maybe understand in the sense like English understand, but not application understand. Right? Vijnana is very difficult. Gnana we can get, but Vijnana, which is applying that in our life, it requires us to be like in that mood. It's very difficult. See, one single line can completely amazing. Okay, anybody else wants to say anything? Okay, I think we'll stop here. I just wanted to say that tomorrow it's Gita Jayanti, and we are doing some Bhagavad Gita verses chanting, doing some program in Hulimavu. It will start from 5 o'clock. So maybe Rupa Mataji, you can see if you can come. I don't know any. Yeah, Gaurav Prabhu also. If you, yeah, those who are staying near JP Nagar, Hulimavu is very near from there, provided you
5 o'clock, Prabhu, morning, evening.
evening, 5 to 7:30. So we'll do Gita 7:38. It might take chanting of all the verses. Others, if you can join, we'll post a link. Also, you can join. But one thing is, going forward, at least what I used to do when I was working is that I used to always keep track of some of these dates and pre-plan my leave or my. Okay, let me stop the recording once.